Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again and again and again from the bottom of our hearts for giving us the ni'mah of Islam, the pinnacle of all ni'am, and the ni'mah of Ramadan, so that we can reconnect with Him, reconnect with ourselves, and inshallah aim for the stars. The name of our program is Aim for the Stars, in which we talk about people that are truly exemplars, people that have achieved successful, big stuff for the Ummah. And I mentioned that in the last two lectures that we had, basically I mentioned two people that have recently passed away. May Allah have mercy upon them. Tonight I'm going to talk about someone who is still alive, and she's a Muslim sister. So without any further ado, I'm going to get started, inshallah. Her name is Maha Shahada. Maha Shahada is a sister who is from Jordan. And she has done something that a lot of communities are aware of by now. She is specialized in education, and she established and she created a curriculum for ages KG and elementary school. And it's being widely used right now. This is the curriculum. It is firstly, there's a parent's guide book, and it was translated to English as well. She did it in the Arabic language, but it was also translated in multiple languages, I believe. I don't think it's just English. So it's being used. We also used it at my deen. I used it also in other places. The stories, the drawings, the character, which is An-Nus, is just created in a very nice, interactive, fun way for the kids. And they learn very deep meanings of how to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the curriculum is for KG and elementary, as we mentioned. She spent 12 years creating this curriculum. 12 years. She started in 1996 and she ended the curriculum in 2008. So the curriculum is developed in a way to shape the Muslim identity and to make the kids love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at a very early age. So for all parents out there, or even if you're not a parent yet, this is something you want to keep in mind, and it's really worth purchasing this curriculum for your kids. It teaches kids how to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how to think and how to be aware of Allah, and how to connect everything in their life, not just the creation of Allah, but even their life situations, how to connect them with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So imagine if we teach our kids all of this at a very young age. So this is what's desired. So one of the scholars said something nice. He once said that learning about Allah before learning about the rulings is essential. Know who is Allah before you know the halal and the haram. Sometimes we come to our kids and we teach them haram, halal. You're not supposed to do this. You should do this. You must do this, right? We come with an approach of rulings and right and wrong rather than reasoning, and rather than introducing them to the one who is what? Commanding us, the one who is counseling us, which is subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, right? So you want to know the source. You want to know who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before you know what He tells you. Imagine, this is something that's even natural in human nature, right? You wouldn't want to know the person before the person tells you something. You would ask them, who are you, right? Or what is your credentials? Before you speak to me, who are you, right? So this is the thing that we often miss as parents when we do tarbiyah for our kids. We forget to introduce them to Allah before we tell them about the rulings. So this is a curriculum that is focused on that, right? Now, today, it is being taught in 22 countries around the world and over 358 educational institutions. And guess what? My deen is one of those institutions. I personally taught this online during COVID last year, and inshallah, I will do it again. So here's some examples of how I did it. So it's basically a series of stories. Part of the curriculum is a long series of stories. I think it's about 20 stories. And every story discusses something that is core, essential about how we connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with beautiful drawings and with a character used as an exemplar. Because this is, by the way, this is genius, right? You have to have a character. MashaAllah, the Western world have, preceded the Muslim world miles ahead, knowing that there has to be a character, there has to be someone that the kids look up to, right? Even if it was a fake character, they create all kind of fake, like Disney, they make all kind of fake characters, right? And Nickelodeon. But when it comes to us, unfortunately, we lack this experience. So this is good. This is what she created. She created a character called Anus. And here's an example. I don't know if you can hear this. Let me see if you can hear this, inshallah. Can you hear this? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear the sound? Can anybody give me a thumbs up if you can hear the sound? No sound? Let me know, please.
We hear you, but we don't hear the picture sound.
Oh, you don't hear this? Okay, wait, let me see.
Yeah, we hear you very well, but not the picture sound.
Got you. Okay, yeah, let me fix the sound really quick. Okay, here we go.
لماذا أكرمني الله وسواني إنسان? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored me and made me a human.
Now we can hear it.
Why did he choose to make me a human? What if I was a chicken? What if I was a cat?
So this is what I was teaching from. I scanned all the stories. I actually have the physical copies. I scanned them all and I did my teaching through these stories. And they are amazing. Look at this example here.
We're different in the things that we do and how we look and all that, but that doesn't mean that we cannot be together. We are all together. Even though we could look different, we can speak sometimes different languages, but that doesn't mean that we cannot be together. We have to, as humans, all stand together and build this world. That's why they are doing.
Yeah, so that was a class about diversity. It's one of the stories that speaks about diversity, and it goes back to the human, right? Before even anything else, to recognize even humans as humans. By the way, as Muslims, we're double bonded, right? What do I mean by double bonded? That's not the chemistry, but this is actually the bond of humanity and then the bond of Islam. So we are brothers in humanity, first of all, since we're humans, and then on top of that, we are brothers and sisters in Islam. So Maha Shahada was born to a Christian family in 1970. Here's the surprise. She's a convert. She doesn't look like it, especially for those who, are from Jordan or those who are, they will, from the area or Middle East, you would never guess that she's a convert. So she was born to a Christian family in 1970. She converted to Islam in 1988, so she was young. And then she also mentions a story of when she converted, how she used to think about it, how she approached it. She said, I just imagined myself on an island and no external influence whatsoever. So naturally, I connected with one God. I found Islam presenting the idea of the God that I was searching for in that island. Okay, so that's pretty smart how the way she actually approached it, thinking of the fitrah basically. In other words, she's talking about the fitrah and the natural inclination towards one God. If I were to be drowning, who am I going to call upon? Am I going to have in my mind a God and a son and a father? Or am I going to be thinking of one God, one entity that will save me? I raise my hands and say, oh God, Ya Allah, help me, one God. So she found Islam to be very simple, straightforward, and promoting for this oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very clearly. Maha Shahada went through tough times. When she decided, by the way, that's, a few years later after she became a Muslim, or actually it's about 6-7 years after she became a Muslim, she decided that she wants to do something for the Ummah. So she decided to do something for this age group, kindergartens and elementary school, at a young age. Because there are studies out there, by the way, that says that even leadership skills, not just faith, but even leadership skills and other life skills are really inculcated in kids at age 4. That's the most critical age, 4 to 10 years old. 4 to 10 years old, they're like a sponge. They take in everything and it builds up with them. So one big challenge she found, unfortunately, in the Muslim Ummah, that there's no previous works to this age group. There's no established curriculums for this age group, something that is scientific based, something that is based on research very well. She didn't find something that's, concrete out there. So she had to start from the zero, she says. And she mentions this in one of her TED Talks. She says, I really had to start from under the ground to figure out things. And she combined the science of child development and psychology, and it's all kind of sciences that she combined to come up with this product with the Quran, of course. So then the second challenge is that she's a woman and she lives in a very judgmental society. And people were telling her, what are you doing? And like she said, I sit on my desk for hours and hours, and people are telling me, what are you doing? If you were just to go get a normal job, it'll be better for you. You'll make some money, at least for the family. So she was getting all kinds of comments, and she presented herself, or she introduced herself as who? As a researcher. And people were like, researcher? Woman? Researcher? First of all, Jordan is not a place, it's not a hub of research. There's no funding for research. Number two, she's a woman. Women are praised for two things. If they go to work and they help their husband and make money, okay, they're appreciated for that. Or she's a good housewife who is taking care of her kids. She makes good sweets. That's what women are appreciated for. But a woman being a researcher, that didn't resemble with the society very well. So that is her second challenge. She had to, she said, I reached a point I really stopped seeing people because people are always judgmental. Then she was actually diagnosed with cancer. There goes a huge challenge. But that's not early on. 10 years after research, she has spent 10 years studying and learning and researching and altering and editing her curriculum. But 10 years later, she gets, I think it was a lymph cancer in the lymphatic system. So that was a huge challenge. But let's see what happens. She made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She said, Ya Allah, and she mentions that, please give me some more time just to finish what I started. I need a little bit more time to finish 10 years working on it. And she has a lot of faith in the product that she's gonna produce. But she needed a little bit more time. So she made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then here's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired her. She says, I believe that Allah is putting me through this to facilitate for me quiet and isolation. Quietness and isolation to be able to finish my project. So she started seeing what is considered absolutely bad and negative and harmful in the eyes of people, which is cancer, disease. She started seeing it as a positive thing to spend more time on her own, isolated, without any other duties that she has to answer for. So she had more time. And then she says, I focused on my goals, not on my disease. Allahu Akbar. So she was working, even in the hospital, she was working on creating these stories, developing the curriculum. And she said, actually, in an interview that they did with her, she mentioned that it's interesting that there was this one day that I was receiving chemotherapy and I was extremely tired. My body was very tired and I was receiving the medication that day. I came up with 4 stories of the curriculum. So she said, I don't know how it happened. This is like a miracle. When someone is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is with them. This is the secret. And then after 2 years, she was cured from cancer, and she started visiting schools and trying to apply her theories and trying to apply the curriculum that she has developed. And of course, she worked with other people who helped her develop the curriculum, but she was the main generator, because others, she said, I tried to seek professionals, but professionals would just walk away from me. They're like, okay, we don't know what you're doing, and it doesn't make, it doesn't seem to be something important. So people who are specialized in developing curriculums didn't really help. She used other people's skills to help her with other stuff. But she did all the research, the thinking, the ideas. So she mentions that manners plus innovation is equals civilization. And this is what we need to develop in our kids, right? We have to teach them manners, because if they were, whatever they were scientists, they were millionaires, whatever they have established in this world, if they don't have the akhlaq, the manners, they are equal to nothing. And you cannot create a civilization without manners, right? It becomes an oppressive civilization. And we have seen these examples in history. Then she mentions something beautiful. She says, the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never leaves those who want to benefit the people. Ya salam. Yani if you are a person who is concerned about benefiting others, then Allah will always provide you with the support, with the help, with the time that you need. And Allah will be your boss directly. Nobody will be your boss. Allah is your boss. Allah provides you with the rizq, and Allah takes care of your affairs if you are serving others. There's actually a hadith about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which he says, as you see here, the best of servants to Allah are those who are most beneficial to the people. إن من خير عباد أو خير عباد الله أنفعهم لعباد الله. In the narration, أنفعهم لعباد الله. So, have you thought about this? She's a normal woman who's not even born a Muslim, who converted to Islam. And when she converted, she started seeking the knowledge. Seeking the knowledge gave her the sense of responsibility. Then responsibility gave her the sense of, I have to do something for the ummah, for the people, for the Muslim ummah. And she came up with this beautiful curriculum. So inshallah, if you need more information about it, you can contact me directly, and I will give you more about it. She has a website called Tafakkur. The program is called Tafakkar Ma'nus, Reflect with An-Nus. Even if you type on Google Reflect with An-Nus, or in Arabic Tafakkar Ma'nus, it'll come up for you. I think they have developed a really good website, and they have their products on it and everything. So this is our character for today. Her name is Maha Shahada. She's still alive. She's still teaching. If you go on YouTube, she still have even Zoom meetings with other organizations in which she educates them. She educated thousands and thousands of teachers. There are testimonies online of teachers teaching the curriculum and benefiting their students and their schools. Not just parents. It's for parents and for students, for both. She has guide for both. One person who is serious, who's responsible, can really make a change in the world. What do you want to leave behind for the ummah? And this is a sadaqah jariyah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. That brings the end of our today's session. Jazakumullahu khairan. And this will be on YouTube, inshallah. Please share it if you saw the benefit in it. And take these halaqas seriously, brothers and sisters, because all what I'm doing here is trying to inspire myself and you to actually do more in this life before we leave, before it's too late. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum.
On Friday.